You scoot over.
Start.
1, 2, 3,
Daniel, get off your phone.
4,
It's recording.
5, 6,
And you should
and go.
Okay, so
don't get out the way.
my persuasive speech is going to be about how
Ooh, that's kick stuff.
about how Stephen Curry is the best player in the NBA. So the first ways I'm going to prove it are by his stats. So he made 805 field goals this year, which was the most in the entire league. His three-point field goal percentage was .454, which was third in the league.
Wait, he plays
had
football?
What?
Field goal football? Okay, never
Field
mind.
goals and basketball, too, John. 3-point field goals made, 402. That's an NBA record for a single season. So that was first in the league. His free throw percentage, he's a 90% free throw shooter. That's first in the league. Points per game, he had 30.1, which was also first in the league. Steals, 2.14 steals per game, and that was also first in the league. And his plus minus was 8.36, which is basically how many more points your team scores when you're on the court rather than when you're off. And that's fourth in the league. So then accomplishments, he's accomplished a lot of things too. So he's the reigning world champion because he's on the Warriors.
Oh, wow.
And they won last year. He's won back-to-back MVP awards. MVP is most valuable player, if you didn't know. So I am persuaded he is the most valuable player in back-to-back years. He's a 3-time All-Star. He's been on the All-NBA first team twice, which means that out of the whole league, they think he's one of the best players at his position for the first team. And then he has one All-NBA second team, which means he's the second best, but that was in 2014. He's part of the 50-40-90 club. He's the 7th member, which means that he shot 50% from the court, 40% from three-point, and 90% from the free throw line. So he's the 7th member to do all of those in the same year.
Who are the other people?
The other people? That's a good question. It hasn't been done for a long time though. Some other things he has the most 3-pointers in a single game. In a single season. He had this tied most threes in a game with 12. He was on the men's national U.S. team for the Olympics in 2010 and 2014, and he won the gold medal in both years. He won the Skills Challenge in 2011, which is an event that they have at the All-Star weekend where they have like passing and shooting drills and stuff. He's
Warriors.
He's only 27, 28, I believe, but he's already the franchise leader in 3-point shots made. He has the 2 highest single seasons of 3-pointers made, and he also has the most consecutive seasons as league leading player in 3-pointers made with 4. So then, I'm going to read some quotes from people who are around the game of basketball and who know what they're talking about. So here's a quote from Mike Miller. He's a former NBA player, and he says that Steph is the best player that he's ever seen. Mike Miller has won championships with the Heat. He's a shooter also. Benjamin Moore says Stephen Curry is the revolution because of the way that he's been shooting more threes than ever. Other teams have started copying because they're seeing that's working. Because the Warriors this year, they set a record for wins in the season. They were 73-9. The previous record was 72-10, and they did it by making the most 3-pointers ever in a single season by a team. Then Scott Davis, he writes articles about basketball and stuff. He's an analyst. He says that Stephen Curry has evolved into the best player in the NBA, and he might be getting even better. Steve Nash, he's one of the greatest point guards of all time. He says, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a player more skilled than him in the history of the game when he's talking about Steph Curry. And then Stephen A. Smith, he has a talk show, First Take. He does it with Skip Bayless. And a lot of people respect his opinion and stuff, especially around basketball. And he says that Steph Curry is the best shooter in basketball. So those are my arguments for why Steph Curry is the best player in the NBA right now.
Good job.
Thanks.
Okay.